Hello! Then we're back with our Pims and Appframe news, and today we will learn what's new in the latest release from Appframe and from Pims. We have with us Alexander, who will talk a little bit about Pims document control. We have Saulius on completion management and Jan Leon on Appframe. And Stefan also some interesting stuff at the almost at the end. Isn't that the plan, Christian?
Yeah, and maybe repeat on a cool sequel joke.
We can see, yeah. Okay, so first of all, what's new in Appframe?
Yep. Jan Leon, are you with us?
Yes. I'm just going to do a quick summary of the highlights in the Appframe release. So I'm just going to show my screen here. So let me see. So you can see it. So in the docs-omega365.com site, you can find the latest Appframe release notes under the Appframe group and news releases. And one of the major changes in this release is upgrading to a new .NET Framework version for both web and Windows client. As support has ended for .NET 4.5 and it's no longer receiving security updates, we have upgraded the web framework to .NET 4.8. And the WinForm framework has been upgraded to .NET 4.6.1. And the reason for the difference is that we will be using some new features in .NET for Web, but as the maximum supported version for DevExpress is 4.6.1, we are using that one for the Windows client. And when you receive this update, you don't have to immediately upgrade all your existing WinForms and assemblies. They will continue to work after the upgrade. But the next time you build your project, you will need to download the latest client runtime and change the target framework version to 4.6.1. And we do have some links there, so you can go into the details and see what's new in .NET version, and also a guide how to upgrade your existing projects. Next on the list is the introduction of the QR findings concept. We use this to identify objects that require attention. That could be views that are missing no lock, or it could be missing the Appframe security section. It could be something you do in the code modules, if we're using the admin security context, for instance. And behind the scenes here, we have some code analyzers that looks at codes in database objects, code modules and libraries, and identifies findings. And currently we have a couple of analyzers in place, but we will be adding more in the future. And you can also extend this QR findings concept by adding your own code analyzers. So you can read more about it here as well, but the visual representation of it is in, for instance, in DB Manager for database objects. So you will get an overview here of any objects and the criteria they are matching. And you can drill down more into the findings screen. And find, for instance, a specific finding and look at the, for instance, this view is missing no lock, so you can go in and alter it. We also updated the RF updater, so we made some improvements there after a lot of good feedback from the project groups. We also have a separate article on that. And the main difference in the updater is that we have split updates and changes into two separate tabs. So if you are applying updates to a solution, you use the first tab, and then you get this dialog with all the namespaces and the number of updates that are available for your solution. And you can also directly suspend to those that you don't want directly from here and download them. In the second tab, we have the generation and deploying of transactions. Then you will get this dialog. So in here you can go in and select individual namespaces that only generate and deploy changes for that specific namespace. And finally we have updated the Spose license, and we also have a list of all the other changes that has happened. So you can go in here and look at more at the details. We have some breaking changes here, mostly related to the .NET Framework upgrade and the updater. Yeah, that's it for me, thanks.
That's good. What I think must be the case is I think we have never had such a well-documented release ever before. Really nice with all these all this documentation, and this new docs at .omega365.com, where we have like these release notes, but also the user guides for Pims R4 and other like API code samples and documentation, etc. It's really a good thing, a good step in the right direction. Okay, then some Pims R4 updates, and today we will have a little look at completion management. What's new there, Saulius?
Hello, I'm Saulius Briudžius, Product Manager for Completion Management, and let's take a look at our key highlights from the latest release. And I'm sharing the screen, and hopefully you're able to see it. One of them is CMS dashboard, which is finally released to production, and it's already being installed at some of our clients. And it's based on Appframe web and can be used via the browser. And also the same dashboard will be available in Android and iOS mobile application that will be released as well. So let's take a look at it and pick a project. Once we are inside the project, at the very top we see a very focused key parameters about what is going on at the completion project, about scoping, field inspection, both for mechanical completion and commissioning phases, punching, handover process. And if we click on any of the cards or just scroll below, then we'll get much more information in more detail. For example, tag scoping by engineering registers, latest imports into the engineering registers, outstanding punch items by discipline and contractor, and the special section for the late punch items, which were taking more than 14 days to complete. Punch items turnover trend that shows a curve for outstanding punch items, and also how many punch items were raised or verified during the timeline. Handover certificates by type, progress curve for handover certificates, both for the 1 quarter timeline, 1 year timeline, or for the whole project lifecycle. A mini look ahead, which lists the subsystems that are planned to be completed during the next 2 weeks, and also the status of the previous 2 weeks. And red color means that they were not completed on time and they are overdue. Then punch items progress curve, overall progress by discipline, and so on. And there is a little button where you can navigate, and what is hidden here, it's settings where you can disable or enable the widgets on the domain level. One more addition is a boundary drawings tab in the Web Project Explorer, which lists the boundary drawings related to the subsystem, where you can view the PDF or go to the document details. And one more addition, it's multi-handovers for the system level, which was in response to a client struggles, because usually system handovers can be done in timely or orderly fashion, but sometimes more flexibility is needed. And that's it for the completion management. I tried to squeeze in short time. And if you want to get more news, you can please go to the release notes support at omega365.com. And that's it.
Yeah, very good. And I think it's really nice, this dashboard.
Yeah, it looks sexy, Saulius.
The dashboard. Yep, very good. And over to Alexander then on document control. Are you muted? Okay. Yeah.
Sorry, we muted you.
Yeah.
Or ourselves, actually.
Okay, yes. So, Saulius, really nice dashboard for sure. And Alexander, he has also some good stuff to show us that is now available in the latest release in document control.
Yes, good day. I'm going to show what we have in the control, and the first and the big thing there is our SharePoint integration, which is now available, and it's an alternative to our standard checkout checking functionality that we used to have for ages now. So if you have some internal document and the draft revision, and if you've got some Office files inside, then you've got this nice option to edit these files inside of the browser or in your desktop application. So what happens now, I just click Edit in Browser, then the file is copied to SharePoint, and it's straight available for you to edit it. And what's good about it is that it's not only you that can edit the file, but also the whole team can work simultaneously on it. So whenever the job is complete and you see the status of the file is now saved, I'm good to go. I can just close it and either I can finalize the revision or initiate approval review, whichever I need. And the file from the SharePoint is being copied to Pims, and it's available in Pims. Yeah. Another thingy that we've introduced is our support for files in batch import. I've already pre-uploaded some of the MDRs here, and we have several options of how we can deal with the files. So if I have, for example, a folder structure of my files, like a folder with document ID, then a revision, and some files inside, then I can drop this in by just clicking this documents files and just drag and drop the whole folder here. And you see that the files from the inside of the folders are being extracted based on the names of the folders. I could also use these upload files or upload folders buttons. And if I click this, I will see in an MDR how many of the files are here in attached here. Another option is to just drag and drop the whole list if you have a flat structure. In this case, the file naming should follow the should be like this: document ID and then the revision number, and they are nicely attached to the files from your MDR. And the last option here we have is native naming. Is, for example, if your contractor has files with some contractor document IDs in it, or just some random file names, then we've introduced this new file name field, which is also available or can be configured in the MDR. So what you do is just you have the comma separated list of file names, and that's it. Again, you just drag and drop all of your files, and they are nicely attached to the documents you've got. And this is all available in release 2009. So again, this is all available here in the release notes. The main highlights, the biggest changes, useful features, and the rest. If you want to see all the changes that we've done, you can open this release notes in detail and you can choose individual issues. So this is it from my side this time. Thank you.
Thank you, Alexander. And now we have one more thing. Stefan, are you with us?
I'm with you.
Good. Then show us some even more sexy stuff.
Yes. So what I'm going to show is a cool new integration we have in Pims with Forge Autodesk. Forge Autodesk allows us to work with and display 2D and 3D drawings in the most commonly used formats. There's all sorts of extensions and cool stuff you can do with this. Here in the model you see right now, it's a drawing of Omega headquarters in 2D. And if we jump over to another 3D drawing, we can see how we're using the version comparison feature. So here you can easily view and look at the different changes that have been done between the versions of the drawing. You can look at what's been added. This is all processed in the Autodesk Cloud. So for each object of the drawing, we get all the relevant properties and metadata of this. So this has a lot of potential for future interesting features as well. So,
and this is a kind of a proof of concept that you have now developed, and how does it feel using their API and using the viewer itself? Was it hard or easy?
It's very, very nice, and they're very technology focused. They have fairly good documentation, and all in all it was quite easily to implement and work with. So it's been quite good.
And this is, it's really promising, and it's something we see getting more and more relevant now that more and more of our clients also use Pims in operations, and we get more clients that actually do the engineering work also more and more interested in Pims, and these kind of tools we are really interesting step forward. Cool.
All right, then I think we'll round it off.
Without SQL jokes, or
we have one more thing. We need just a follow up, and for the last session, which wasn't too bad. I think the jokes was okay, fairish. So this one is. And I bet Vidar is listening, so I hope that he did this. So how does a SQL expert get a date? Johnny, maybe you can...
No, I don't know.
Okay. I think he Googles get date and click the button, I'm feel lucky.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
It was
but
good.
yeah.
All right.
I think that was it.
Yes.
Or did you have one more?
No.
Oh, okay.
I didn't have no.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Bye bye.
See you then. Bye.